Hello everyone, welcome back to Coach Craig Sports. Today is Monday, March 15th. We're going to be talking some NBA DFS picks on both FanDuel and Draft Kings for today. But before we get started, we're going to take a quick look back at yesterday's picks, see how they turned out, and kind of why they turned out the way that they did. So it was a tale of two sites yesterday. So DraftKings was not as good, and then FanDuel was very good. So on the DraftKings side, point guard, we had Chasson Randle, 3,400. You're looking for about 17 out of him. He got to 11.5. He was a guy that I mentioned down in the comments could lose some minutes to Terrence Ross playing yesterday and lose a little bit of usage that way. And that is what ended up happening. So if you were able to pivot off of him, maybe you went to like Tomas Satoransky, who was around the same price, ended up starting for the Bulls, playing very well, then you probably panned out pretty well. Victor Oladipo, 8,400. You're looking for 42 out of him. He was a miss, but he was a just miss. Probably one that didn't kill you overall. Then at that small forward position, we had Derrick Jones Jr., $4,200, looking for 21 out of him. He got like 5.75, so it was just a massive, terrible game for him. No points scored, didn't make a shot, didn't really do much overall. I think he only played about 20 minutes or so, so some of the concerns that I did have with him popped up. Then Chuma Okeke, $3,700. Like I said yesterday, he was going to be one of them guys. He's either going to get you 10 points or 30. He got the low end yesterday, so he was a miss. Then at center, we had Clint Capella, who did not end up playing with his heel injury. We kind of learned that news halfway throughout the day that he might not play. So he was a mess, but I gave you guys three other names to consider to replace him as pivot options. One was John Collins, who played in his place, played very well, paid off there. The other one, Kelly Olynyk, played very well, and he would have paid off as well. And then last but not least, we had Karl Anthony Towns, who did not pay up to his price. So if you picked him, he was the miss, but there was two other hits there. So definitely some decent options to pivot off to. Then on the FanDuel side, much better day on the FanDuel side. Ricky Rubio, $4,800, looking for 24 out of him. He got to 30.5, so he was a hit. Victor Oladipo, 7,700. We were looking for about 38, 39 out of him. He got to 37.2, so he was a just miss. Then Kenyon Martin Jr., $3,500 minimum price, 37.3, so he was a massive hit. And then John Collins, who we did pick on this side, $5,900. You were looking for about 30 points out of him. He got to 38.9, so he was a hit. And then Kelly Olynyk, $4,500, 45.4 points, massive hit there. So that FanDuel side was very, very strong. I went with this core for the majority of my FanDuel lineups, kind of mix and match pieces there, and it turned out very well overall. But with that being said, we're going to get into today's games and the injuries for them. So the first game we got is the Bucks and the Wizards. The Bucks are all the way healthy. Obviously, Drew Holiday played more minutes after the All-Star break that last game out, so that's definitely encouraging. Then for the Wizards, Ish Smith is still out. And then Raul Neto and Davis Bertans are both game time decisions. We'll see if they play or not. I will definitely keep you guys updated on that one throughout the day. Then for the Kings, it's just Whiteside out still, pretty much. Those other two guys don't really matter. The Hornets essentially are all the way healthy, no changes there. And then for the Spurs, LaMarcus Aldridge is still out, going to be out for a long time or be traded, one or the other. DeMar DeRozan could end up playing today. He's a game time decision. He was out the last time out, I believe, for the funeral for his father. So, prayers go out to him and his family. And then Bates Diop, he is a game time decision as well. Doesn't really matter too much either way if he plays or not. Then for the Pistons, most of the same guys are out. Wayne Ellington is doubtful now. Dennis Smith Jr. is a game time decision as well. I don't think either of those two play today. So Josh Jackson might actually enter the starting lineup for once, even though their coaching staff seems to not want him there, only want him coming off the bench. We'll see if he starts. Maybe Rodney McGruder starts. Maybe he plays 22 minutes. I think he played 26 the last time out. So he could be a guy on that DraftKings side to look at as well. Then for the Knicks, Derrick Rose, Mitchell Robinson still out. Alfred Payton, game time decision, unlikely to play. Isaiah Quickley is a game time decision, but likely to play. If Payton doesn't play again today, Quickley is definitely in play. Frankie Nicolina probably gets that start again, but he barely played last time out. For the Nets, Kevin Durant, Blake Griffin still out. TLC, game time decision, pretty standard there. Then for the Clippers, the biggest one that we have that's new is Serge Ibaka left the game last night with a back injury. Game time decision tonight. We'll see if he ends up playing. If he doesn't, Zubac, Patrick Patterson even played a little bit last night. And then Marcus Morris. All three of those guys could get additional minutes tonight if Ibaka is not able to go. Then for the Mavericks side, James Johnson and Terry, they're both game time decisions. Both of them don't really make too big a difference either way. Then for the Pacers, Jeremy Lamb's a game-time decision. TJ Warren's still out, so nothing really new there. Then for the Nuggets, RJ Hampton, Gary Harris, and Monty Morris are all out. All three were out last time out as well. Grizzlies pretty much all the way healthy besides Jackson, who's been out for a while. Then for the Suns, we have Cam Johnson still out, so no major changes there. Golden State's all the way healthy. And then the Lakers, they have Kostas Antetokounmpo out still. Anthony Davis is still out. Jared Dudley's out. And Marc Gasol's out. So just keep an eye out on all those guys. Everybody else should be playing in this game. But with that being said, that's all the injuries for today. We'll get moved over to the DraftKings side to talk about my pick over there. So on DraftKings, first off, we got point guard Isaiah Quickley. He has $5,600. You're looking for 28 fantasy points out of him. He goes against a very good matchup against that Brooklyn Nets team. And if Elfrid Payton doesn't play in this game, he's going to get a ton of minutes as long as Quickley's playing as well. I know he has a little bit of an injury, but no major concerns there. Then at shooting guard, we got Josh Jackson. Like I said, he could be in the starting lineup, or he could be a priority player off the bench as a scoring option today once again. Pretty good matchup against the Spurs as well. You're looking for about 27 out of him, average about 25 on the season. Could get a little bit of additional usage and run in this game. Then at small forward, this is probably not another sexy name at all, but Abdel Nader for the Suns. He is $3,300, looking for about 17 fantasy points out of him. Played 20 minutes, 4 straight games now. Definitely gets a boost up from Cam Johnson still being out, and he's a pretty safe play overall. If you're looking for value today, especially early on, he's a name that I would consider. Then at power forward, we're going all the way up to Giannis, and $11,100. Looking for about 56 fantasy points out of him, averaging 58 on the season. Pretty safe play here against that Wizards. Good matchup for him overall. Should be a little bit of a pace-up spot as well. Then at center, we're going to go with Montrezl Harrell. He's been playing really well recently. $6,200, looking for 31 out of him, averaging 26 on the season. Pace-up spot here. It's a Golden State team that's not really too scary at that center position. So I think he could really have his way against, Kevon Looney, James Wiseman, guys like that. But if you go with these 5 guys on DraftKings for today, you'll have $18,400 left over, just over $6,100 per player. So you can definitely fit in another high-end guy and then some value as well. So we'll get switched over to FanDuel, talk about my picks over there as well. So on the FanDuel side, point guard, we got Drew Holiday, $5,800. Looking for about 29 fantasy points out of him. He's averaging 33 on the season. Back to playing his regular minutes now, so I think it's a pretty safe play. I think he's probably going to be a pretty popular play today. If you want to fade him a little bit and go to another option that's a little bit priced down, seems like a good play, consider Chris Paul as well. I believe he's $6,800. He was my second pick in terms of this point guard position. Then at shooting guard, this one's going to be another chalky play as well. Karis LeVert, $4,100. Returned last game. We didn't know how many minutes he was going to play. The Pacers coach, he said they don't have a minutes restriction for him. He ended up playing 27 minutes. So I'm not really concerned about him here. You're only looking for 21 points at $4,100. I think he easily gets past that. I think it's going to be a very popular play for today, and definitely a guy that's not going to hurt you overall. Then we're going for small forward, another $4,100 player, Joe Harris. Like I said, you're looking for 21 points at $4,100. He's averaging almost 23 on the season. I know he's a little bit more points reliant, but I think he's a guy that he's a pretty safe play. He's not going to hurt you. And he's one of them guys, he's a decent value. He's going to help open up some other options throughout the day. Then power forward, we have Jeff Green, $3,500. And that's the minimum price on FanDuel. Jeff Green plays decent minutes. I think he's definitely a guy that can get you 20 points. You could do a lot worse at that minimum price tag, and he opens up so many other options on a slate like today. Then at center, we're going all the way up to Nikola Jokic, $11,000. Looking for 55 out of him, averaging about 56 on the season. Not really scared of this Pacers matchup for him. I know last time out he was questionable with an ankle. Hopefully he's a little bit better today, but it didn't really seem to hamper him too much the last time out either. But if you go with these 5 guys over on FanDuel, you have $31,500, almost $7,900 per player left over. And I did a little test run myself with this lineup. You can go Drew Holiday, Russell Westbrook, Giannis, and Jokic here. You plug in Immanuel Quickley at that shooting guard spot, and you still have like over $5,000 left for your small forward spot. So definitely a very competitive lineup with this core 5, and then even with some of them other pay-up options. So on a day like today on FanDuel, where you can plug in Russell Westbrook, Giannis, and Jokic, and make it viable without sacrificing too much upside, that's definitely something that's very, very interesting to me. But with that being said, these are my picks for today, March 15th, on both FanDuel and DraftKings. As always, I'll be leaving all the news updates and starting lineups down in the comments below, so be sure you're checking them out throughout the day. Everything that's coming out throughout the day is going to be down there. Usually do that 1:30 injury report, the 5:30 injury report, and then any other notable news that comes out throughout the day. And then once again, if you guys have any questions at all regarding NBA DFS, whether it's today's slate or in general, feel free to leave a comment down below, ask a question. Definitely here to help you guys out. And with that being said, if you guys are new to my channel, haven't already done so, please consider subscribing. Definitely helps build the community that we're trying to build here at Coach Craig Sports, and that's really one for you, the viewers, helping you guys with your DFS, whether it's NBA or NFL, helping you guys with your fantasy football teams, talking to all the football news that comes out in these recent days. There's going to be a lot of free agency news, so we're going to be covering some of that this week. And then as we move forward into baseball season, I'm going to be talking a little bit of fantasy baseball and some baseball news as well. But with that being said, if you are new or current subscribers yet to do so, also hit that notification bell down below. It's going to let you know every single time I post up a new video. And with that being said, I do daily NBA DFS videos like this. And then, like I said, we're going to be doing some football news and some fantasy football content this week as well. But that's all I really have for today's video. Hopefully you guys all enjoyed. Hopefully you all do very, very well in NBA DFS tonight. And like I said, if you guys have any questions at all, please do not hesitate to ask. Definitely here to help you guys out. And a special little shout out to every one of you watching this video. I really do appreciate you taking out of the time to watch this video. It definitely means a lot to me, and I hope each and every one of you has a great rest of your day.